Okay, let's take the third question over here, and then try and open it up to the audience. This is a tough time. Everybody's got a friend or a family member, or even personally have actually gone through a job loss right now. And if you were to ask somebody in the company to innovate, it's clear, it's easy to do exactly what you're being asked to do, which is probably the right thing, but there has to be some risk taking in order to be able to innovate. Some things that you got to do outside of the regular core processes to be able to come up with better ways to repackage innovation if necessary, or to change the business model if that's what is called for, or to find a partner or something on the supply chain. And how do you encourage those individuals who have families, kids, rents and mortgages that has to be paid to take risk? Should we start with Steve? Are you ready to go with that? Or?
Yeah, okay, I can try. I guess only two good things I can think of in the situation we're currently in. First of all, employees are extremely responsive. When you walk into a room, you're used to people like, yeah, now everyone's taking notice, what the hell. So, making change happen in the company is easier than it's ever been. The second thing is it is possible to increase your bench strength at the lowest cost it's been in the last 5 years. Bad news for you MBA students that I met with the chief executive of McKinsey last week and told him he should drop his salaries to associates. They were still hiring. I was like, you should drop your salary. I mean, you'll still take the job. So that there is easy to get good people and easy to get good people to do what you want to do right now relative to the past, I think. I think the key thing is to tie that innovation to their livelihood. One thing that I see a lot of companies doing now, traditionally a company has had a sales force and then everyone else. Actually, everyone in the company can be part of that sales force. So whether it's introducing incentives for people to basically go out and bring business in. Now, more than maybe a year ago, people would be like, that's not my job, that's the sales job. But whatever newspaper they read, they will realise the situation the company's in. And everyone's more than willing to chip in and do whatever they can to drive the business forward. So, but most companies I know are putting incentives in place for all their employees to drive revenues.
Yeah, I would agree with everything Stephen just said. I would just add, But the one thing I would say specific to the people who are still in innovation jobs, which may look odd because people in real core jobs have lost their job and you're still doing the interesting thinking over the innovation side. You have to sympathize with that. I mean, it's certainly a huge traumatic experience for anybody to go through a job loss. And unfortunately, I know several people who had a job before and it happened to me once in my life. I mean, it happens sometimes. The company doesn't pan out. But you can't apologize for what your job is. Because the reality is there is going to be an upswing to this downturn. I mean, maybe 3 years from now, maybe 10 years from now, but the reality is the economy is not going to go to zero. There will at some point be a turn. And at that time, what's the innovation idea today may become the core business of tomorrow. And if you don't have those types of ideas being incubated, the reality is your core business is not a perpetual motion. It's not always going to generate cash. There has to be some new things coming in to supplement the things we're going to adopt. This economy may kill off entire business models. This may be the end of the newspaper industry as we know it. So where the innovation is going to come from that's going to give those people that are employed today a job tomorrow in the next new economy. So, like I said, sympathize, feel for them, do whatever you can to help them, potentially take your own job pay cut, if there's an opportunity to save a couple of core staff to do that. But don't apologize for your job because you are creating the jobs of tomorrow and the industries of tomorrow. So be proud of that fact, but don't rub it in their faces. It's depressing.
Very good. Chips?
Also, it's me. Well, when people are really risk-taking, there's two reasons. One is they are really innovative and creative, and the other is they probably think there's nothing to lose anymore. So either way, the end result is pretty much the same. And in a time like this, you know that in history a lot of the greatest innovations took place in wartime. And it's because when your back's up to the wall, you really start thinking out of the box. And so there is this opportunity that is there right now to create this mood of innovation, almost a little bit of desperation. And so that onto certain programs because we don't want to constantly needle people with innovation questions or tasks and so forth, but we want to do it in a more gentle way than we would normally do it. So there's some adjustments as well in that respect. But overall, I truly believe that the core employee base that you have is your biggest asset. And you may ride them hard now, but when the economy turns for the better, they may not be there once the opportunities open up. So you really have to work together to go through this and make it through to the next upturn at some point.
Very good. Thank you, Chips.
Slightly different point of view, kind of taking off on Steve's initial comment. I think now is the time when employees across the company, whether they're been involved in innovation or not, are willing to do things they would never have done before. And so it's time to go back to the garage. If you think of when Hewlett-Packard was formed in the Depression, in the real Depression. People will work weekends and evenings, and so they have a day job. It's all hands on deck. Cash is king, generate cash, conserve cash, all that. So they do their day job, and that protects their job. It makes them feel that they're not going to get fired. And for those people who have the entrepreneurial kind of capability, the kind of innovative insight, those are the ones the CEO needs to have reporting to him or her on a kind of SWAT team basis, so that they're getting their motivation to work weekends and evenings and come up with new ideas and new business models and new ways to save money or make money. And they're doing it on their own time because they are investing in the future of the company and they want to be there when this kind of turns around in the CEO's eyes and senior management's eyes as those who really kept the fires burning, even though during their day job they were willing to switch everything to the corporate imperatives of cash is king. So I think there's a huge opportunity to do that. It's happened in past recessions and depressions, and clearly the companies that we see as leaders today are taking advantage of that shift in behavior or opportunity, and the people who truly are entrepreneurial and innovative have their chance to shine. It comes at the expense of weekends and evenings, but they have their chance to shine, and they have their chance actually to bypass middle management. Crisis enables them to do that, whereas they used to be trapped in the bureaucracy of an innovation organization. So this is the chance to kind of break out. But it does take the CEO or the senior management team to kind of release that energy.
Thank you. You want to add to that comments? Yeah. No fights? Okay. No, there's a huge alignment in this, of course. There's an opportunity here. I mean, necessity has always even driven all inventions of the past. So here we are in troubled times. It does force you to think outside the box. It does want you to work harder in your day job, and it does want you to think harder in the evenings of what else can you do differently and better for the organization. So if you ask for it and you demand for it, I think people will actually step up to the challenge. So there's a leadership requirement, and that's what Ronald was saying, and everybody else was saying that this is the time I can get the best talent. You can, for the lowest price. You may want to think about talent. You may want to think about the fact that you can also make everyone a salesperson. I do think that this is where people are finally looking at the full organization. People used to be all siloed out before, and now they're basically saying, how can I help my company win in terms of with customers or with suppliers or